Hey there, welcome to The Motivated Founder. Today we're tackling one of the biggest hidden threats to your productivity and decision-making as an entrepreneur: decision fatigue. You know that feeling when you've been making choices all day and by evening you just can't bring yourself to make one more decision. When you find yourself procrastinating on important business choices or impulse buying things you don't need, that's decision fatigue, and it's silently sabotaging entrepreneurs everywhere. In this video, I'll explain the psychology behind this phenomenon, show you how it's affecting your business decisions, and most importantly, give you practical strategies used by successful entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs to overcome it. Decision fatigue is a psychological phenomenon where the quality of decisions deteriorates after a long session of decision-making. It's based on the concept that willpower and decision-making abilities are limited resources that get depleted throughout the day. This isn't just a theory, it's backed by extensive research. Social psychologist Roy Baumeister pioneered the concept, which he called ego depletion. His research showed that our self-control and decision-making abilities function like muscles that get tired with use. Think about your typical day as an entrepreneur. You wake up and decide what to wear. You choose what to eat for breakfast. You prioritize your task list. You make hiring decisions. You choose marketing strategies. You decide on product features. You manage team conflicts. You negotiate with suppliers or clients. By afternoon, your mental energy is significantly depleted, yet that's often when you're faced with some of your most important business decisions. And here's what's fascinating: you don't even realize it's happening. Your brain doesn't send you a clear signal that says, "Warning, decision-making ability compromised." Instead, your brain starts looking for shortcuts. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how our brains make decisions. Psychologists and neuroscientists have found that decision-making is one of the most energy-intensive activities for our brains. Each choice requires your brain to activate multiple regions, weigh options, predict outcomes, and commit to an action. One particularly eye-opening study looked at 1,112 judicial rulings by parole board judges. The researchers discovered that at the beginning of the day, judges approved parole requests about 65% of the time. But as the day progressed, the approval rates dropped dramatically, approaching zero just before breaks. After lunch, the approval rate jumped back up to 65% again. What this shows is that even highly trained professionals with years of experience are vulnerable to decision fatigue. As mental energy decreases, the brain seeks the path of least resistance, which in the judge's case was denying parole, the status quo option. For entrepreneurs, this has profound implications. As your day progresses, you become more likely to take shortcuts, more susceptible to impulsive decisions, more likely to avoid decisions entirely, more vulnerable to poor judgment, less creative in your problem solving, and all of this happens while you still believe you're making rational choices. While everyone experiences decision fatigue, entrepreneurs face a perfect storm of factors that make them particularly vulnerable. First, the sheer volume of decisions. Unlike corporate employees who might focus on specialized roles, entrepreneurs typically handle multiple functions, from operations to marketing to finance, all requiring different types of decisions. Second, the weight of these decisions. When you're running your own business, the stakes are higher. A poor decision could mean lost revenue, damaged relationships, or even business failure. Third, the isolation factor. Many entrepreneurs lack the support systems and decision-making frameworks that larger organizations provide, so every choice falls directly on their shoulders. Fourth, the chronic nature of the problem. This isn't just an occasional bad day. This is a daily challenge that compounds over time, potentially leading to chronic decision fatigue and burnout. The impact on your business can be significant. Research shows that decision fatigue leads to two dangerous outcomes for entrepreneurs. 1. Decision avoidance. Putting off important choices because you simply don't have the mental energy. 2. Low-quality decisions, making hasty, impulsive choices without proper consideration. Both can be devastating to your business's growth and your personal well-being. How do you know if you're suffering from decision fatigue? Here are the telltale signs. You procrastinate on important business decisions. You find yourself making impulsive purchases late in the day. You take the path of least resistance in negotiations. You feel overwhelmed by choices that used to be simple. You experience decision paralysis, the inability to choose anything. You settle for good enough rather than optimal solutions. You feel mentally drained after a day of work, even if you weren't physically active. If you're experiencing several of these symptoms, decision fatigue is likely affecting your productivity and business performance. Let me give you a personal example. A few months ago, I was working on 3 major client projects simultaneously. By the end of each day, I found myself staring at email responses that should have taken minutes to write, but I couldn't decide on the right wording. I'd put them off until the next morning, when suddenly the decision seemed easy again. That's classic decision fatigue, and once you recognize it, you can start to implement strategies to combat it. Some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs have developed strategies specifically to combat decision fatigue. Let's look at what we can learn from them. Mark Zuckerberg is famous for wearing essentially the same outfit every day, a gray t-shirt and jeans. When asked why, he explained, "I want to clear my life to make it so that I have to make as few decisions as possible about anything except how to best serve this community." Steve Jobs had a similar approach with his iconic black turtleneck and jeans uniform. By eliminating the daily decision of what to wear, these visionaries consciously preserved mental energy for more important business decisions. Barack Obama, while not an entrepreneur but certainly someone with high-stakes decisions, told Vanity Fair, "You'll see I wear only gray or blue suits. I'm trying to pare down decisions. I don't want to make decisions about what I'm eating or wearing, because I have too many other decisions to make." These examples highlight a key strategy, eliminating low-value decisions to preserve mental energy for high-value ones. But clothing is just the beginning. Successful entrepreneurs apply similar principles across their lives. They create morning routines that run on autopilot. They batch similar decisions together. They use decision frameworks that simplify complex choices. They delegate decisions that don't require their personal input. They time their most important decisions for when their mental energy is at its peak. The goal isn't to make fewer decisions overall, it's to be strategic about which decisions deserve your limited mental resources. Now let's get into specific strategies you can implement to combat decision fatigue in your entrepreneurial journey. Start by identifying decisions you can eliminate entirely. Create a capsule wardrobe with interchangeable items. Plan meals in advance or use meal services. Set up automated payments for recurring expenses. Create templates for common business communications. Establish standard operating procedures for routine tasks. Remember, every decision you eliminate preserves mental energy for more important choices. Plan your decision-making for when your brain is at its best. Reserve your morning hours, when most people have peak mental energy, for your most important strategic decisions. Save routine, low-stakes decisions for late in the day. Schedule complex negotiations or creative work for your personal peak performance time. Create decision-free zones in your schedule where you focus solely on execution. You don't have to make every decision yourself. Identify which types of decisions only you can make. Delegate decisions that others on your team can handle. Use the 70% rule. If someone can make the decision at least 70% as well as you can, delegate it. Create clear guidelines so your team can make decisions that align with your vision. Make complex decisions more manageable. Break big decisions into smaller components. Create decision frameworks or rubrics for recurring choice types. Limit your options. The paradox of choice shows that too many options actually decrease satisfaction. Use the if-then method to pre-decide how you'll handle certain situations. Don't go it alone. Use decision-making tools and software to reduce cognitive load. Establish an advisory board or mentor relationship for important decisions. Join entrepreneur groups where you can discuss challenges. Consider hiring a business coach who can help clarify decisions. Your physical state significantly impacts your decision-making ability. Prioritize quality sleep. Sleep deprivation dramatically impairs decision quality. Maintain stable blood sugar with regular balanced meals. Exercise regularly to improve overall cognitive function. Practice mindfulness or meditation to improve focus and clarity. Let me show you how to implement these strategies in real life. Here's a simple 3-step process you can start today. Step 1. Conduct a decision audit. For one day, track every decision you make, from minor to major. Categorize them as high value, directly impacts business success, or low value, could be eliminated or delegated. Step 2. Create a decision management plan. Identify 3 decisions you can eliminate through routines or automation. 3 decisions you can delegate to team members or services. 3 high-value decisions you'll schedule for your peak mental hours. Step 3. Establish decision-free zones. Block off at least 2 hours each day where you focus solely on execution rather than decision-making. This gives your brain a chance to recover. I've created a free decision fatigue audit worksheet you can download from our website to make this process even easier. Decision fatigue is a real psychological phenomenon that affects every entrepreneur, but it doesn't have to control your productivity or success. By understanding how your brain works and implementing strategic approaches to decision management, you can preserve your mental energy for the choices that truly matter to your business. Remember, great entrepreneurs aren't necessarily better decision makers. They're just more strategic about when, where, and how they make decisions. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button to join the Motivated Founder community. Next week, we'll be exploring the psychology of goal setting and why most entrepreneurs fail to achieve what they set out to do. Until then, be mindful of your mental energy and remember, your most valuable resource isn't your time, it's your attention and decision-making power.